Let's talk to this guy, a familiar face around here, a former New York City detective, Bo Dietl. He's the founder of Bo Dietl & Associates. He runs a security investigations firm. He joins us now. He's also a Fox News contributor.
All right, just turned off his tone on his phone, and we're going to talk about the case that we've been talking a lot about. They found the remains of Shannon Gilbert, but a lot of people are just baffled by what's going on out in Long Island. And the theories about her drowning and how many is there one serial killer, 2, 3 killers?
You know, I've been following this case, and the thing is, when they come out, when the chief, I don't want to knock any of the police commissioners that are out there or all that, but when somebody comes out and says, well, I know that this girl drowned before you found the body.
Right.
And I talked to some detectives out there, and that DA is a pretty sharp piece of work. It's kind of irresponsible to determine one killer, all these things. Remember, we have an infant involved, that they found the remains of an infant. As a former homicide detective, you never eliminate anything. It could be one killer, it could be 2 killers. They could have nothing to do with each other. But to make a determination before you have evidence, I just think it's, all respect to that police commissioner, a little irresponsible at this time.
Well, and even Gilbert's mom saying, listen, she was scared of water. There's no way she would drown there. She wasn't in this marsh purposely, and it never made any sense.
They were talking about it being like a quicksand type of thing with the muck and all that. Look, anything can happen, but you got to sit back and find out all the evidence. Get the evidence, because you might have in those bones, when they do an autopsy on those bones, you could have in the skull, you could have a trauma in the skull. You didn't even find the body, and you're saying that she drowned. Maybe someone crushed her head with a bat or something, or maybe there's a bullet in her. But let's wait a little bit here before we start determining.
Hey, Bo, we know, unfortunately, that sometimes police give out misinformation to try to mislead the perps out there, maybe to get them to relax a little bit. Do you think this idea that she potentially drowned is the police's move to do something like that?
I don't know. Like I said,
I know you hate to admit it.
I don't know. I mean, you do
happens.
misinformation sometimes, but honestly, I've talked to detectives, and they were a little surprised at some of the statements that are coming out.
One thing, too, I was curious about. We've had the different theories. It's one serial killer, maybe it's 2 or 3. I'm trying to figure out, if you live on Long Island, what one would you prefer? One serial killer or a few?
Yeah, but you know what? Then all of a sudden you had, I believe, 4 of the prostitutes or whatever they were in burlap bags. There's different methods of discovery of these bodies, and it's all not the same. I mean, unless they all had a red ribbon tied around their neck, each one of these corpses that they found, then I would say maybe we had the same person on all 10, including the infant. Maybe she had a red ribbon. But until you do something like that, look at it, you have a specific tie in there. I don't know. We're stretching out a little bit. But with that said, they got great detectives out in Suffolk County. And I respect to that police commissioner, but we just got to pull it a little closer to your vest, because I don't want a guy to get off because of a statement that someone said that there's one killer. Then you find out there's 3, and then they'll use that with the defense. Well, the police commissioner said there was 1 killer. Now you're telling us there's 2. What is it?
Bo, how long do you think this entire investigation could take? I mean, folks on Long Island nervous about this, but also those families. They need some answers.
Well, you got 10 corpses there. That's 10 bodies.
I mean, are we talking
serious.
years?
Well, that's serious. I mean, this investigation can never end. When you have a murder, it never ends until you find out who commits murder. There's no statute of limitation on murder. This will go on and on. This will be one of the cold cases that will continue until they try to.
Does your gut tell you we're going to find more bodies there?
I honestly, they're finding an awful lot there, and you know, we got to evaluate who disappeared and the circumstances around it. And there's always people who are disappearing, runaways and all that. So we have to determine that.
Let's talk about something else now. The man who's believed to have killed NYPD officer Peter Figoski, which, by the way, was your precinct, the 75th precinct. You retired from there.
I retired.
The judge is getting a whole lot of criticism from a lot of corners right now. Some of her supporters say that she followed the letter of the law. Others are saying, whoa, 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 you never should have let this guy off. Where do you stand on this?
Look, my thing is, this is a terrible, terrible tragedy that happened. With that said, the hindsight of what she did, I don't want to condemn her. She didn't pull the trigger on that officer in the face. The thing with the fact
she didn't have to let him go, or did she?
Let's learn from it. We minimize it. Let's learn from it. If you have someone that's suspect, he got arrested in November for drugs. There was a attempted murder in North Carolina. Hold him a couple of days. Find out what that warrant's all about. That is something that I think that we can correct. And I think this tragedy will make it correct. I don't want to point a finger at a judge, and I'm not going to do that. with that said, you know, the 75th precinct was called the Killing Fields back in the 70s and the 80s. We had over 100 murders. I was on a homicide team there in the early 80s. That's where the last case was the Palm Sunday Massacre. I was involved with a great team of detectives. We locked the gap for killing 10, including 8 children. So I sent the letter out. I said I had an affinity for the 75th precinct because I retired. I got the tremendous response from business. One of my friends here, Stephen Manganoff, $50,000. Bill O'Reilly, Imus in the morning, $25,000. Sal Iannuzzi, $10,000. Roger Rico, my friend Jack Morris, and he came up with a great thing. My friend from New Jersey. Why don't we try to pass legislation in New York State? Any officers killed in the line of duty to let their kids go to college on the back of the state. We should do something for those kids. I'm very proud to say we're going to raise personally out of this thing with all these Jonathan Tish, Bill O'Reilly. Everybody's out there. We're going to raise almost $200,000, and I challenge other businessmen out there. Look, at these offices protect us day in, day night. There's 4 little girls that have to go to school, and they have to be taken care of. I think it's the responsibility of all New Yorkers, and we have the funds set up through the New York Post and through the foundation, the Police Foundation. But it just goes on and on in this city. I'm so proud of my friends that are out there.
A lot of them doing so much good work for
contributions don't have to be $25,000. It could be $20,
$5,
$5, whatever it is. And again, it just keeps going down. Bill Nudie, NCR, everybody's stepping up.
We got to go.
I'm excited.
Thank you so much. We do have some breaking news, but thank you to all of you who've given that money.
Thank you, everybody.